I'm excited to talk today about LazyPredict. So this is an excellent method that allows us to basically run a pretty simple piece of code and to score the data on a variety of methods, and then so that we can see, well, these are the types of methods that perform really well on a given data set, and then these are some of the methods that don't do so well. And in this one, this LazyPredict method, it's basically scoring them and using R squared and RMSE, root mean squared error, to kind of compare the models. So that can be really useful. So it's a pretty simple piece of code. I'm kind of not going to go through line by line, but we're using the Boston data set. We're trying to predict the median value of owner-occupied homes. That's what we're trying to do. Here we're getting some training and testing data, and just 20% is the size of our testing data, and the rest is training. And then here we are applying the LazyPredict. So you'll notice it's basically just 2 lines of code. Pretty impressive. And these 2 lines of code, let me run this so you can kind of see that it's scoring all the models, how long it takes to run this data set. Has about 500 rows of data. It's pretty quick, and it just ran all of these methods. Pretty amazing. There's just these 2 lines of code, and we can see that the boosting and the random forests are ranked towards the top, so they have the highest sort of R squared value and the lowest root mean squared error value, and so they perform really well. So if you've seen a previous video, we've scored this data using linear regression, and that had around a 70% R squared. So let's see, so that 70% is around here. Let's find linear regression. That's here, around 73%. So that's our standard, the typical, the most popular way that people run regression is linear regression. And that has that sort of a value. And the other methods, there's a number of methods that do really well. So we could focus on the top ones here and try and tune them. So one of the things you'll notice, we don't have any parameter tuning here. So it's basically, this is just a quick way to search through what I would call a method space. Which methods kind of perform well on a given data set, and you can kind of see what types of methods, and you can pick one or a few of these and sort of tune the parameters to get even better performance. But this is an extremely handy piece of code, this LazyPredict method. Pretty impressive, but I think this is in general the way things are headed in this sort of auto ML or automatic machine learning, because there's a lot of grunt work involved in running all these methods. So if you were to run these one by one, it'll take you days to kind of code all this in, maybe a couple of days, maybe one day if you're working really hard. But here, with just a simple piece of code, you can really get a good idea of what types of methods do well on the given data set. So that's it. That's LazyPredict.